I'd been watching the thermometer ever since I got up, and by 10 o'clock it was reading a couple of degrees above zero, and the ice was starting to melt on my driveway. Could this be true? Was I really going to be able to go out for a proper spin on the bike? At 10:45 I dressed in my full winter riot gear and headed for the garage. I managed to slide the breather out of its corner, and after a bit of shuffling got it facing the right way. Before long I was heading north. It was merely cool and not as cold as the snowbanks lining the road might suggest, but the feeling of being let loose on the world on a motorbike was exquisite. During the past few days, while it had still been below freezing, much of the snow had sublimated, that wonderful process where snow turns to water vapor without ever melting. This meant that instead of patches of water across the road from the melting snowbanks, a potential hazard, the roads were clear, bare, and mostly dry. I stopped briefly at one of the boat launch areas to take a look at the frozen lake and see if there was much open water. The ice is starting to go a little bit, but it's a nice day. Mild, 4 degrees. Nothing wrong with that. A few miles further ahead, I pulled in to replenish the fuel in the tank. Why do I get such a kick out of riding when there's snow around? Subjecting oneself to cold winds and the ever-present potential for encountering slippery surfaces probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense to some people. But for me, the minor discomfort and marginal risk is worth it. The snow in the forest is pure and clean, and while the snowbanks along the roadside are dirty and salt-pitted, they remind me that winter is truly on the wane. A short stretch around a frozen lake. In the summer I often see snapping turtles digging burrows in the soft gravel at roadside, and watch ducks and geese swimming in the lake. But there are none today, and the ice still looks solid. Another brief pause at the crossing between two lakes. Oh, what a gorgeous day to be out and about. A little bit of water starting to flow, but the ice is still more or less solid. And no traffic. Not surprising, I like riding these roads. As you watch, you may be thinking I'm taking a strange line through some of the corners and swapping from one side of the lane to another. What I'm doing is trying to choose a line with the least amount of sand and gravel dust. There's still plenty of loose on the road, and I'd rather not be leaned over when I encounter it. A few miles further on, I notice a deer at the side of the road, so slow down to take a closer look. She doesn't seem too worried by my presence, but eventually bounds away. I'm just going to let this run for about another 5 minutes, so if you're bored, switch off now. Oh yes, and don't forget my various books on Amazon and Audible. Just search for Nick Adams Motorcycle. Thanks for watching.